This is such a thrill. Thomas Yelloweyes wrote me from Wilsonville, Oregon, and said, I've learned about Pickleball Obsession. I need to be part of it. This is what I do, right? You have night trained pickleball. You have trained hundreds of people, but you found me, and this is just the little seed of Pickleball Obsession. It's just begun. So I'm thrilled to have you be part of my coaching team. Can you talk for just a minute about your name, which is fascinating and leads me to believe that you have a particularly original and interesting background? Your name is Thomas Yelloweyes. Are you, in fact, Native American?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm full-blooded Native American, Cheyenne Arapaho Nation.
Nice. That's very, I don't know, it gives me a chill. You have such a long history in this country, Native Americans, and it's a checkered one in terms of what the white man did when he arrived. So it's just really great to for us to be able to be inclusive and have people from all kinds of ethnicities, backgrounds, all of whom have found pickleball as their passion, which is a little weird, right? How can we all be so obsessed? When I talked to you first and said, there's a whole lot of things I'd love you to talk about because you have a great website, you do amazing clinics. And I said, you want to talk about the comparison to tennis and pickleball? And you said, maybe not, because I never played tennis, but you were a champion at Ultimate Frisbee. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes, I played for 15 years, 13 of that on the national level before it became the pro leagues that they are now. So it's the pro before the pro.
Wow. So that's a little bit like pickleball is. Pickleball has just begun to be pro and have leagues, or soccer in America, right? And that's brand new, really. I,
Yeah, so Ultimate Frisbees is it's a very niche sport as in its
yeah.
own right. It's there's definitely different positions, and that's how I fell into it. But it came in an important part of my life as well, just like pickleball has.
And also, it was about competition. So that's one of the things that's really important. And I don't know if Ultimate Frisbee gives you the kind of hand eye coordination that some of the other racket sports or paddle sports do. But you obviously, just because I read your bio on your website, which I really recommend people to go to Night Train Pickleball, follow Thomas. He does a lot of really good YouTubes with a whiteboard behind him. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the whiteboard and he makes diagrams. I'm more of a talker. That's obvious, right? Podcast queen. But those of you that want to see diagrams and have him explain a lot of his theories, he does really great work. The question that that we haven't talked about yet on the show, and an early listener has already written a question. So thank you guys for listening. Feel free to go to Pickleball Obsession, fill in the contact form, and ask us any question. We will answer it. She wanted to know how to put more spin on her serve. And I wanted to say, Sugar Plum, it's not about the spin on the serve. It's not about the serve being an ace. That's not really how the serve is supposed to function. But Thomas, you're teaching a lot of people. Your Night Trade Pickleball is a system that you've developed to get people up to a higher level and to get to a competitive level. So let's just talk about rec play. How important, in your view, is the serve? Other than that, it starts the point, which I have been told by some coaches. Just get it deep and get into the and wait for your third shot. But how important is it, the serve in pickleball at a rec level?
Yeah, so I think for a little context, when I first started as a coach, I taught a lot of beginner clinics. I think close to 215 my first year. And
Ooh.
one of the things that I had to, as an instructor, I had to learn what these things were and got the question all the time about, can I do this with my serve? Can I do
Right,
that with my
right,
serve?
yeah.
And I was like, sure you can. But after just going after all of the clinics I've done and teaching all the students that I've taught, most players, and I'm talking like 90 plus that have come across the court with me on it, just need to learn to get it in.
Thank
They
you.
just
Thank
need
you.
to, yeah, they just need to learn to get it in. And I'm talking probably even up to 3-5. They just need to get it in. And then when you get it in, you need to start learning to get it deep. And then
Yeah,
once you start learning to get it deep, then you can start learning to move it left and to the right. You trying to hit their backhand, you trying to hit their forehand. And then you can progress it to maybe adding some pace. And then we can start worrying about the spin. I will say with the new rules, it starts cutting down on what type of the different types of spin you can put on it now. It's in
that's
in
right.
2026.
But before we go to that, and that is a really important point because there's the whole issue of do you drop it or do you hit it out of the air? That's another question about the serve. But first, let's just talk about it as a fundamental of the game. Assuming that you're even up to a 4-0 rec player, you do or don't go to tournaments. You're definitely not intending to go pro. You just want to play your very best game every time. There are a few people where I play at True Pickleball who seem to be hyper focused on their serve. They want it to be as hard as they possibly can. They want it to be an ace. And I think we've learned that in pickleball, the serve was never intended the way it is in tennis to be somewhat where you can ace somebody. You can keep them back. You can make it a very defensive return of serve. But there seems to be, and I'm not saying it's just guys, but in my experience, it's mostly guys. They think, I'm gonna nail them with my serve. But the game takes place at the kitchen, and a really great game has a rally with many shots in it. The serve just gets it kick-started. I'm sure you have met, I don't know, low intermediate beginners. It doesn't really matter what people call their duper number, which itself is a whole nother conversation. What is your real duper number? Why do we have to have duper? I want to erase it, but never mind. It seems that this focus ruins their chance of becoming a better pickleball player. Because if you're hyper focused on your serve, first of all, you're going to make lots of errors, which is just such a no-no in pickleball. And then what do you gain if you have a really swell, hard, or spinny, or out wide serve? We can all cover almost every serve if we know how that person serves. Just step back a little, right? Give yourself a little more room. What do you say to people who come to you and say, yeah, look, I'm already pretty good. All I want to do is make my serve better. Do you meet them where they stand, or do you try to coax them into understanding, I don't know, a more of a finesse game or a strategy game?
Yeah, so I love meeting people where they are. But the
Yes.
first thing is, I think as an instructor, I look at it and go, do you know where you are? So the first thing
Ooh.
I do is I say, let's just see what you have. So I will go back as the returner and I'll say, okay, just give me your normal serve and now give me your best serve. And I will just start looking at it. And I want you to hit it like 10 times. I don't want you to hit it like
Right.
one or two times. We're going to hit
Right.
it 10 times. We're going to hit it 20 times. And in that amount of time, I'm going to see this is your normal serve. How many times do you get it in? This is your best serve. How many times do you get it in? And that'll start telling me a lot about how consistent is your serve? Are you getting it in enough times for it to be effective? Or do we need to go back and maybe work on a few things and start building it back up? Is too much emphasis on your serve because the minute you play somebody, you can get it back. The rest of your game is not developed.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like the rest of it's atrophied. You've got this one big muscle, which is the serve. And maybe you're pretty consistent. And maybe 9 out of 10 times you can serve this really bullet of a serve. It's deep, it's low, it's does or doesn't have spin. It's not easy to get back. But by the second time as a returner, even if you're not that developed yet, you just can block it. It's not the end of the world. It's got to drop on the other side before they can hit it anyway. So I think one of the things that people forget about the serve in the game is that not getting your serve in is not a shrug of, oh, it's like really bad. It's like super bad. It's like the worst possible thing because you can't possibly score unless your serve starts the point. Do you try and bring that up to your students? The fact that missing your serve isn't like in tennis, I'll have a second serve, or my partner will get to serve now. No, it's like really stinks to not get your serve in.
Yeah, I think if we're just talking about rec players and we're talking
Yes,
to low to mid-level players, your serve is very important. Is very important. I'm always going to say your return is more important because
yes,
it gives away points. But
yes.
your serve, you can't start the game and you can't score if you can't get your serve in. Yeah, give yourself the best opportunity to score if you can't get your serve in. And
I
so,
mean, but Thomas, I would even say at a higher level, anywhere up to 4-0. I have started a lot of games with people who are the first server, and their serve either hits the net or goes wide or long. I'm like, how can you do that to yourself? You just shot yourself in the foot. You only get one serve to start, and now you blew it. But they don't understand what a horrible position they put themselves in. Do you think because they're trying to do something very clever or very offensive, rather than just start the game, serve down in the middle of the box as deep as you comfortably can?
I think here's the way to look at this. Okay. I think the best way to look at this is this. Average, you might have a 4-0 game, but it doesn't mean your serve is 4-0. It
Thank
might be 3-5. It might be a 3-0. It might be the worst part of the pieces of your
Yes,
game. It
yes,
might be the worst part.
I
So
like
you shouldn't be trying to hit a 4-0 serve if that specific part of your game is not 4-0. You need to stay within. So we have the two things. We have the floor and we have the ceiling. The floor is the shot that you can hit 9 out of 10 times and
that.
get it in. And your ceiling is the shot that is the highlight reel. It's the one, and
Yeah.
you can't be hitting your ceiling if you don't have a floor, like you don't know where your
Well
floor
said,
is.
said. I
So,
like.
so as a coach, that's the way I look at it. I look at it as go, okay, great. Your dinking is a 3.75. Your third shot drops to 4-0, but your serve, man, it's like a 3.25.
Now, it's a 3.25, even though in your own mind, if you're one of these hard serving type guys, you think, whoa, mine's more than 4.0 because it's so hard. And they miss the
You
point
get
that
it in.
if the serve isn't in, you just served a 3.0 or less serve because it didn't go in. Isn't that sort of
Right.
the lesson to be learned? If you can get your serve in every single time, which if you aren't trying to go for the moon, you can get it in every time. It's not a difficult shot. You're all by yourself. You're totally in control of it. There's no other elements that come into play. It's your moment. Just put it in the box.
And I think another important aspect to put into this conversation is this is a team sport. You should be
Yes.
hitting the shot that is best for the team. You
Yes.
shouldn't be hitting the shot that's best for you. We'll hand out when ESPN shows up and they want to take a highlight reel, do your 4-0 shot. But until then, let us play what's going to best. In the end, nobody wants to admit, I shouldn't say this. This is a very broad stroke. I'll take that back. What a lot of players don't want to admit is they want to win.
Yes.
But you got to learn to win as a team. You can't win it all yourself. You have to win it as a team. And it starts with the serve. I know I could hit this serve, and if it gets in, it's pretty effective. But if
Yeah,
I hit this serve, it gives us the best chance as a team
I
to get
like
to
it.
the line and win the rally.
I really like that because I think that's one of the problems is some of these intense servers are playing a singles game on a doubles court. I'm gonna shine. Maybe ESP will show up today because man, that was an awesome killer serve. But how does that help your team? It may hurt your team. We don't know, but we know that it's not thinking as a team. And the other thing is, Thomas, just to wrap it up, and we'll come back and discuss how to put the fancy stuff on the serve. We'll do another one about spin on your serve, a short serve, a lob serve, like Annalie is now doing, an out wide serve. And is that good or bad? Because it might hurt you, actually. So I just think we want to wrap it up by saying it's if you miss your serve, even if it goes out by a hair's breadth, that's the time to say you're really sorry to your partner. Not when you miss a shot during a rally or your dink isn't what you hoped it to be. The real sorry has to be if your serve goes out, you really owe a beer to your partner because you can't, your serve has to be in. You
It
don't
should
want
be a good beer too.
it
Yeah.
should be it should be definitely a craft beer. I like that. Thomas Yelloweyes, it's so wonderful to have you as part of the show. Can't wait to discuss many other topics with you. Those of you who live near Wilsonville, Oregon, or get to take any of his clinics when he travels around, Night Train Pickleball is really all about it in a very special way. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to our next conversation soon.
Yes. Thank you.